How long have you been studying at EFL?
For 14 years. I've been coming to EFL Club for 1 hour each week. And when I was 3 years old, I came here for the first time and I was always crying. Even so, one of the reception staff cheered me up and I was able to continue to come here.
Very good. Have you ever been overseas?
Yes, when I was a junior high school student in 2nd grade, and I went to America to do my homestay.
Oh yeah.
And I made many friends and talked about the difference between American school life and Japanese school life.
Yeah.
And it is one of my favorite memories. And even now, I keep in touch with my host family and they sent me a beautiful Christmas card last year.
Oh, very nice. Whereabouts do they live? Which area?
Oregon State.
Oregon. I don't know where Oregon is.
Near Pacific Ocean.
Oh, okay, so like the west coast?
West Coast.
Okay, yeah. Do you remember what the weather and things were like there? Was it
Weather?
quite hot in Oregon?
Not hot.
No? I really know nothing about it.
But maybe all cloudy and rainy.
Oh, okay.
The weather was bad.
Right, sounds like England. So what are the reasons that made you come here for 14 years?
As far as I know, the only place where I can improve my English skill is EFL Club. The more time goes by, the more my English skill improves. And that's why I've been able to continue to study English for 14 years.
Good. You've been taught by several teachers here from several different countries. How did you find that?
I understood that even among English-speaking countries, the cultures are different from country to country.
Right.
And when I was a high school student, I became interested in American English and British English. But I usually learn American English at school, so I don't have many opportunities to learn British English. So even if it's once a week, it's really important for me to learn British English from a British teacher.
Right, that's good to hear as a British person. Yeah. What do you think has been the biggest difference that you've noticed so far?
Accent.
Right.
Accent, for example, tea, water and water.
Yes, yeah. And how about any differences that surprised you?
Surprise. Spelling, for example, color is different.
Yeah. The extra U.
The extra U.
Very good. In what kind of situations do you feel that your English has improved?
I've had 2 good experiences. First, when a person from abroad asked me for direction, and they asked me which bus they should take, and I wasn't sure. Right. So I took them to our information center. However, the station staff couldn't speak English, so I translated English into Japanese and vice versa. And I felt as if I was a real interpreter and was really happy to realize that my English had improved so much. And secondly, when my friends at school asked me a question about English and understood my explanation, I felt like I had improved so much.
Very good. Did you find it easy to translate for the person in the station?
Pretty easy. And teaching others leads to a deeper understanding for myself. So I plan to answer more questions from my friends in future too.
Very good. Do they ask you a lot of questions? Yeah.
Yes.
They're relying on you.
Yes. For example, test or workbook.
Right. Yeah. No homework advice.
Homework advice.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Do you also feel any improvements when talking with a native speaker?
When I can talk about my opinion, the instance I come up with them, I really became aware of my own growth.
So what are your dreams for the future?
My dream is to be an English teacher at junior high school. So when I took an English class at junior high school, I thought my English teacher's classes were lacking something. Then I took an English class here. I realized that something was communication training. So if I become a teacher, I want to conduct classes in a communicative way. And I also want students to have a dream of making friends with people from other countries and broadening their horizons.
Very good. It's a very full-featured tree. Very
Yes.
good. What would you say EFL is to you?
EFL Club is essential part of my life, and I've gained many things. For example, clear objective in my future, and learning to help people station, and friends who study English as hard as me and can boost each other up. And these are the things which I wouldn't have got if I hadn't come here.
Very good. It's very nice to hear as well. Which skill do you want to improve most from now?
I want to improve my listening skill.
Really?
Yeah. And it is difficult for me to have a conversation if I can't understand what is being said.
What kind of things do you think would help you with your listening? What kind of things would help you to improve your listening?
Only training.
Yeah, just practice.
Practice.
Yeah, very good. So when you were a preschool child, you used to cry a lot when you came to EFL. Would you have anything to say to mothers who are in that situation, or to parents who bring their kids here?
Yeah, if your child is about 3 years old, they may cry saying, "I don't want to go to school," just like I used to do. It is because they are afraid of the different countries' culture, which they are not accustomed to. And now I'm 17 years old, but if I was told that I must study the language of the country, which I don't know where it is, I think I would feel like crying. But I know that it will become more interesting for me, and because I talk to many friends and interact with teachers. Yeah. So, don't worry.
Yeah. That's good advice, I think, for everyone. Can you give some advice to our younger students, especially those in elementary and high schools?
Now, please don't be afraid of making mistakes. So I sometimes make mistakes with Japanese grammar, so you can take it for granted that you would make mistakes in English. And you can study English grammar at both junior and senior high schools, so you can speak correct and natural English with time.
Very good. Excellent.